Motivation is the driving force behind all our actions. It compels us to get out of bed in the morning, pursue our goals, and face the challenges life throws at us. Yet, many of us find ourselves waiting for motivation to strike before taking meaningful action. But here's an insight. Waiting isn't the answer. The science of motivation reveals that action often precedes motivation, not the other way around. Let us delve into this intriguing concept. Psychologists have long established that motivation can be divided into two types: intrinsic, which is driven by internal rewards like personal satisfaction, and extrinsic, which relies on external influences like praise or monetary rewards. Often, people wait for intrinsic motivation, a sudden burst of enthusiasm or inspiration, before embarking on a task. However, research suggests that this approach may be misguided. Consider the Zeigarnik Effect, a psychological phenomenon that explains how people remember uncompleted tasks better than completed ones. This effect illustrates that once you initiate an action, your mind becomes attuned to it, fostering a natural, persistent focus that significantly boosts your motivation. Essentially, by merely starting, taking that first small step, you create a mental momentum that propels you forward. Furthermore, motivation is not just an emotional state. It can be systematically cultivated. A well-respected study by Stanford psychologist B.J. Fogg introduced the concept of tiny habits, the idea that motivation can be harnessed by establishing small, easily attainable goals. Each small win generates evidence of progress, igniting motivation through an internal reward system that builds confidence and sustains forward momentum. In addition, another perspective from behavioral science includes the notion of the activation energy. In both physical and metaphoric terms, it's the minimal amount of energy needed to get started. Lowering this threshold is crucial. This could mean simplifying your workspace, breaking tasks into more manageable parts, or setting a timer for just 5 minutes to focus. When activation energy is minimized, taking that initial action becomes surmountable, paving the way for motivation to follow. A classic example of why waiting isn't the answer comes from the field of sports psychology. Athletes frequently employ visualization techniques not to wait for the perfect moment to feel ready, but to mentally rehearse performance until readiness becomes an ingrained response. Such practices illustrate that preparation and routine often create motivation, showing us that readiness arrives from repetition rather than from waiting for motivation to knock. In conclusion, reshaping how we perceive motivation can have a profound impact on achieving our goals. Embrace the philosophy that doing, not waiting, is the catalyst for motivation. Initiate action, however small, and allow the natural processes of our minds to build the momentum we seek. By understanding that motivation is something we create, we free ourselves from the stagnation of waiting, paving the way for continuous progress and fulfillment. So, next time you find yourself waiting for that spark of motivation, remember, take the first step. Action breeds motivation. It's a journey fueled by movement, not idleness. And often, through the act of starting, you'll find that the journey is precisely what stokes the fires of motivation all along.